All right, how you doing? As you said, I'm Devin from the City Museum. I've been there for a few years now. I'm sure a handful of you have probably been there before. There's probably a few that haven't, I'm sure. If you haven't been there, I guess you would describe it as a contemporary art museum, but it's essentially a giant playground for kids of all ages, like not just little ones, but old ones too. It opened in 1997, but it started out just the first floor with a giant whale sculpture, but you could just watch the place being built, and it still kind of carries that. There's always sections closed off where you can actually watch the artists and artisans doing their sculpting and mosaic tile work and things like that. It was a nonprofit until 2002. Bob Castley decided he didn't want to be a nonprofit anymore because he was tired of begging for money. He saw people coming in the door willing to pay admission. He thought it would be way better to make money than keep begging for money and having to waste it everywhere. We annually draw between 700 and 800,000 people a year, making us one of the largest tourist attractions in the city. We double what the Arch does, where behind Busch Stadium is the largest tourist attraction in downtown proper in St. Louis. There's a few other attractions that are a little higher in attendance than us. We average on Saturdays in the summertime, if anybody's been there during the summertime, it's a madhouse there. We did, the last Saturday in July this year, we had over 4,000 people through the door in paid attendance. That doesn't count like any events that we do, like weddings and things like that. It is constant growth. We always change things, take down things, put up new stuff. We're currently building a castle turret in the parking lot that will connect to the outside play area. There was a mansion at Page and Grand in the city that was torn down to make a parking lot for Walgreens. And we got the salvage rights for it, saved all the stone and everything, and now it's going to be, I believe it'll be 75 feet tall when it's done. They're actually currently building it right now. If you come on a day we're open, you can watch them moving all the stones up, cutting them and everything like that. So it's a pretty entertaining place to see. The original artist, Bob Castley, many people here probably heard this story. A couple years ago he passed away in a construction accident at his new location that he was working on when he passed away. It's called Cement Land north of the city. It's in limbo right now through the estate and things like that. There's nobody knows if anything's ever going to happen there. He's a preserver of the arts. You can see that in the museum. Almost everything inside the building is salvaged from something else. And he's also a literal preserver of the arts. In 1979, there was a story at the Vatican City. Michelangelo's Pieta was attacked by an Israeli radical named Laszlo Tov. He happened to be on vacation there, Bob Castley was, and actually was the person that grabbed him and pulled him off of the statue. That's the only reason that statue still exists. They had to do reconstruction of it. He just randomly happened to be the person that was next to him and saved the Pieta. We are known throughout the local area as well as the national area. If you go almost anywhere in St. Louis, there are marks of Bob Castley somewhere. Turtle Park has tons of sculptures. The zoo sign that you drive by on 40 that you see, he actually sculpted that, as well as almost everything in the living world inside the zoo. There's sculptures in U City, the Galleria, the light fixtures, the giant lampposts, those are at the Galleria Mall. Those are actually Bob Castley sculptures as well. The Griffin in front of Vianney High School is also his. That was his alma mater. He does trail net trails. There's a bunch of that. So he's all over the city as well, not just located just at the City Museum. He's also in Manhattan Riverside Garden in New York City, Central Park, Dallas Zoo. There's a good story with the Dallas Zoo. He has the giraffe outside. It was going to be the second largest statue in the state of Texas, behind the Sam Houston statue. He was 6 inches short, and so he made the tongue of the giraffe sticking out 6 inches longer. So it was then the tallest sculpture in the state of Texas. There's pieces of Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, things like that. He's known all throughout the country for different sculpture work. With our attendance, we draw quite a bit for groups, like school groups, things like that. Many of you probably have kids or grandchildren that have been there with a school group. It's about 1/8 of our attendance in a year. About 100,000 school kids every year come through as part of groups. We also do facility rentals. We have big event spaces that we use for corporate meetings, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, weddings. My wife and I actually got married and had our wedding reception there about 1.5 years ago. It's a very interesting place for a wedding because people can go and play and goof off for a while, as well as go have a couple drinks in a nice setting. Get pictures with tons of screaming kids behind you. Makes for an entertaining day. We also sell memberships. which draws a big chunk of people, so it's a yearly pass. You get X amount of people to come in, encouraging people to come in more. We host concerts and things like that from time to time as well. The future is going to go for a while there. I don't see anything happening to it. It draws so many people. We're always building. They're currently building more lofts. You can actually live there. It would be an I couldn't imagine living with that many screaming kids outside my window, but some people really, really enjoy living there. You should all come check it out. I've got a bunch of brochures and things. If anybody wants to take one, bring your family. It's a great way to spend a day. This is our slow season now, so now's the time to come. You're not lost in the sea of 4,000 people in the building. Thank you very much.